Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the best cards in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, the top 5 best at each position here in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Before we hop into the video, if y'all haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Uploading every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So I wanted to use different cards at each position, basically. So we have 25 different cards on this list. No overlapping players, even though there are guys who are top 5 probably at multiple positions if you were using them at either one, especially like power forward center. But didn't want to do that for the purpose of this video. So what we did instead is we have 5 guys at each position individually. And so, yeah, with that being said, we'll start off at number 5 at the point guard position, which is going to be Galaxy Opal Sidney Moncrief. Now, the point guard position has like 10 elite level cards, to be totally honest, a bunch of top tier PGs that didn't make this top 5. But this Moncrief card is really, really solid. He's a very, very good defender. He's got legitimately solid slashing, 85 driving dunk. I know the 76 3 ball is low, but with a shoe and plus with a very nice jumper, he is still knockdown. He's also got the Pro 2 fade, and defensively, he is absolutely incredible. If he had a higher 3 ball, he would be higher on this list, but I think he's already an exceptional card at number 5. Number 4 is going to be Drew Holiday, who is very similar, in all honesty, to Sidney Moncrief. Actually, not quite as good of a slasher, nor quite as good badges, but I think he is a better shooter. His release is as good, if not better. I really think he is an amazing card. His defensive animations are next level. He's very similar defensively to Moncrief, and I think his jumper is just as good, if not better, but the higher 3-ball rating makes a difference for his shooting ability. Honestly, I think his SIGs are a little better as well. Not quite as good of a fade, but better movement. Overall, those two guys could easily be flipped, but I think I'm leaning Drew Holiday personally. It is very, very close between those two. They give you very similar things on the court. At number 3, we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA is a kind of do-it-all point guard. He's got real playmaking, good push cross, good escape, very fast jump shot, good finisher, solid all-around defender, 6'6", solid player build. He's got the size, the defense, the shooting, the slashing, kind of some play, like everything you want out of a point guard. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gives you at a high level. I still think he's one of the best point guards in my team. He's still currently my point guard starting on my God squad. I think he's an absolute stud, and I have no issues whatsoever with him at the number 3 spot. Number 2 is going to be Zach LaVine, who is probably the best offensive point guard in the game. I mean, it's either him or Devin Booker, who is not actually on this list. Now, a fully badged D-Book can be argued as up with any of these guys. I mean, this is opinion. Guys like Devin Booker, Dyson Daniels, etc. Like, there's a few other point guards as well that I think are really good that could be argued on this list as well. But for me, I think LaVine is number 2 because he's an exceptionally elite slasher. He's got a great drag back, super fast jumper, good push, like good crossover running the ball at the court as well. He's actually more complete defensively than most of the other tall PGs, and I think he's a great card. Incredible offensive point guard. I think he's probably the second best PG in the game. In my opinion, number 1 is probably Cade Cunningham. Now, he does not have a great fade, which is probably the biggest critique, but jumper is elite, tray escape, good dribble style, versatile defender, biggest player build of anybody on this list as well, helps him out defensively. Cade Cunningham is probably the best point guard in the game, especially when you put him next to the best shooting guard in the game. He fits the best. I think he's an incredible card, and I would probably put him at the number 1 spot right now. Although, again, not by much. It's very much opinion at the top of the point guard position. At the shooting guard spot, number 5 is going to be Jerry Stackhouse. Pretty slept on card, I feel like. Really, really good release. He's actually very solid stat and badge wise as well. Very good defender. Once he gets a couple badges added. So look at the badges. He doesn't have brick wall, movable on-ball menace, or paint controller. But if you add those 4 badges, he basically has everything that he needs. He's got elite shooting, a top-tier release, great slasher, and a good playmaking ability. Nice escape, off handles for days. He can be a decent shot creator. He's got a really good jumper, and he is a very, very capable defender once he has a couple of those defensive badges added. Awesome card. A little bit slept on with the shooting guard position at this point compared to a lot of these other top guys, but I think he's elite. Number 4 is going to be Scottie Pippen, who is really, really good defensively. Has a great fade, does a lot of things really, really well. Now, I will say my one critique of Pippen is that he doesn't have a great shot creation ability, but his jumper is elite, his defense is elite, his slashing is elite, and his fade being Pro 2 is also obviously incredible. Still think he's top 4 at the shooting guard position. Wish he was a little better as a playmaker, though. That would put him in this top 3. Number 3 is going to be Paul George, who has kind of a similar issue as Pippen in terms of playmaking, but he's got a better escape. I feel like he's a little more versatile as a playmaker. Doesn't actually have quite as good of a fade, but he's an elite defender in his own right. Another 6'8" guy who's got incredibly complete stats and badges, elite level slasher, elite jump shot, really, really good card. Has been one of the best cards in the game for quite a while now and is still one of the best cards in my team. Really, really good card at number 3. Number 2 to me is Ron Artest. Ron Artest is similar to Paul George and Scottie Pippen in that he is an elite defender in his own right. But unlike those guys, I feel like he's got a little bit more completeness to his shot creation. Slightly better behind the back, good escape, good overall movement, like very solid. He's got the Pro 2 fade as well that Pippen has, but does it while having a little bit more shot creation. Sigs, I think he's pretty definitively the second best shooting guard in the game. Really, really good card. But in my opinion, there's not even a debate on the #1 shooting guard in the game. I mean, Artest is an amazing card. Dr. J gives you similar defense to guys like Ron, PG, and Pippen while being just incredibly good offensively. One of the very best jump shots in my team, bar none. And elite level Sigs. He is the best shot creating card in the game right now. And in my opinion, is a no-brainer #1 at the shooting guard position. Small forward is going to be led off with #5 being actually Kevin Durant. Now, I think you could make an argument for a couple guys over KD if you wanted to. Guys like maybe a Jaime Jaquez or Rui Hachimura or a few other guys like that at the small forward position. KD's badges are not unbelievably complete, and his stats are good, not unbelievable, but he is 6'10 at small forward, smooth release, decent movement. I mean, he's a very solid card. I think the #5 spot at the small forward position is a really tough spot to rank, to be totally honest, because there's a lot of good cards, but nobody who like really kind of establishes himself. But I feel like the top 4 is separated a little bit from the rest of this list, especially really the top 3. Because #4 is Danny Granger, who I think is basically kind of a better KD. He's got a faster jumper. He's a 6'9 small forward who kind of does everything. Pretty similar, honestly, to KD in terms of being a little bit more of an offensively focused card, but his jumper's faster than KD's. He's more complete badge-wise. He's not bad defensively at all either. Pretty good slasher, half posterizer, half lightning launch, elite jumper, and he can do a little bit of shot creation in his own right as well. Really, really good card, but again, I think the top 3 at the small forward position kind of separate themselves, with #3 being Kawhi Leonard, who's got an elite release, incredible defender. Well, maybe not an elite release, but a very good release. Incredible defender, also has a top tier behind the back and a good escape, which gives him more playmaking ability than most small forwards in my team. Incredible two-way card who does everything that you want at the small forward position at a very high level. Very much an elite level card in my team. #2 is going to be Jason Tatum. If Tatum had a good fade, he'd be #1. But his fade kind of sucks, and you combine that without having great Sigs. And yes, the stats and badges are absolutely elite, but when you look at Tatum on paper, yeah, he's probably the best small forward in the game on paper. Not by a ton though, and his animations outside of his jumper, I feel like overall could be better. I don't hate the card at all. I think he's very good, but I don't think he's the best small forward in the game. In my opinion, the best small forward in the game is still, to this day, LeBron Raymond James. LeBron is just unbelievably good. 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. Elite level slasher, elite level speed, incredibly versatile defender, great shooter as well. His release is really, really good, and he's got a little bit more shot creation than Paul George does, than Jason Tatum does, I should say. Also, his fade is better than the Tatum's, in my opinion. And I know he doesn't have quite as many hoffs and stuff, but when he's fully badged, he gets basically every single important badge in the game. And a lot of bronze at this point have a lot more hoffs than the base 5 that he comes with. I think he's the best small forward in the game, though. I think he's still an unbelievably elite card. Power forward position. We're going to start off with #5. Power forward is probably perceived to be the weakest spot on this list, mostly because a lot of the guys that you run at power forward are also top tier centers, so I put them on the center list. Al Harrington is why I have at #5. I still really like Al Harrington. I know he only has 2 hoffs. He's got half Deadeye, half set shot, but he's very complete stat and badge wise. He's got really solid animations, an elite level jumper, good speed, versatile defense, good dunker, like solid all around card, very complete with badges, especially once you add like a couple, like pogo stick, maybe interceptor, and then a couple of, I don't know, lightning launch, posterizer, rise up, that type of stuff, maybe slippery off ball. You add a couple badges to him. He's really complete. He's a really good card. I think he's a little slept on at the power forward position at this point, and he's very affordable as well. Really, really nice option. Speaking of affordable, this card is one of the best value cards in my team, period. And that is AC Green. He is an incredible, incredible card. A 6'9" power forward who is absolutely elite defensively and has a top tier jumper, and he's a very good slasher. He is truly one of the best power forwards in my team. Can compete at the very highest level against the very best power forwards in the game. And honestly, you could even argue him over this next card, which is Giannis, if you wanted to. Like, I truly believe these two guys could very easily be swapped. In fact, for my personal playstyle, I might use AC Green over Giannis because his jumper is much better and he's a better shooter. I'm going to do something y'all are going to disagree with. I'm switching it. I'm putting AC Green at 3 and Giannis at 4 because it's my list and it's my opinion. And I would rather use AC Green because of the elite level jumper. Now, Giannis is 6'11", unbelievably switchable, one of the best defensive cards in the game, but his jumper's a little janky. I'll be totally honest. It's not that good, and he's only got a 67 3-ball. It's the only criticism of Giannis that you can make, and he still is a truly top-tier card. Like, don't get it twisted in the slightest. But at the same time, I realistically don't think... I think the jumper holds him back a little bit. I think number 4 is pretty fair. Number two, I should say, Jaren Jackson Jr. is amazing card in his own right, incredibly elite defender, but also has a very fast jump shot, tall, big player build, power forward, good dunker. Not much of a playmaker, but he's got like 87 speed, so high 80s in the speed is always really good, especially for a guy with his size. He is just one of the more versatile cards in the game. Does everything you could possibly ask for out of a top-tier power forward, and a card who is going to be one of the best diamond cards in the game for a long while to come. He is really, really good in my team, no doubt about it. And then number one, in my opinion, and yes, he could also be considered a small forward, and he is elite at both positions, and that is Paulo Banchero. I think he is probably better at power forward than he is at small forward, but honestly, he pretty much gives you the same thing at either position. He's a 6'10 dude who does everything well. Shoot, a little bit of playmaking, exceptional slasher, super versatile defender. Again, massive, big player build, fast jump shot. Like everything you want out of a small forward or a power forward, Paulo Banchero provides at a high level. He and Jaren Jackson Jr. are two of the very best diamond cards in the game. Honestly, Jaren, AC Green, three of the most elite diamonds in my team. Like AC, especially for his price, is an incredible budget card. Jaren and Paulo aren't as cheap, but they're both incredible cards in their own right and deserve to be high up on this list. And then at the center position, we'll start with number five. Number five being Jack Sigma, who's a really, really good card. Like fast jump shot, very good interior defender. Yes, he's only 78 speed. That would be the biggest criticism of this Sigma card overall, but he's got an incredible jumper. He's a good finisher, and he's a very good defender with a bunch of good interior hoffs. He is really, really good. Another guy who can play the power forward position at a high level as well if you want him to, but decided to put him at the center position because of the slightly lower speed mostly, but really good at either spot. Number four is going to be Joel Embiid. 7-footer, big player build, great shooter, fast jump shot. Much easier to green this year, I feel like, especially with the stick. He's a legit knockdown shooter. Finishes at a very high level on the inside, physically dominant. I mean, he's a beast. He and this next card, I feel like, are pretty much the same card, and that is Akeem Olajuwon. I just like Akeem's animations a little more, I think. I mean, really, I think you could go either way with these cards. They basically do the exact same thing. They're big, versatile, play big, dominate on the interior, stretch the floor at a high level with smooth jumpers, even have decent fades, and are elite level defensive cards. They're basically the same card, just with different skins and slightly different animations, but I feel like they give you about the same thing. I just personally think Akeem maybe has slightly better rebounding animations and stuff. I don't know. It's close between those two guys. You could really argue either way. David Robinson is just a better version of these other two guys, Akeem and Joel, because he is just a little bit, I mean, he's an inch taller, similar player build though, a little bit more hoffs, a little bit more gold badges, jumpers just as good as theirs, if not maybe even better. He's another dominant inside big with great size, big player build, versatile defender, great shooter, dunks the ball really well. He's got great speed. Like everything you want a big to do, D-Rob does. And I think he's a slightly better card than Akeem and Embiid. Really good level 40. But with that being said, the best center in the game is not even debatable right now, and that is Victor Wembanyama. The best card in my team, probably. His jumper is nearly uncontestable. You will have to jump at him to get a contest, which is ridiculous. He is elite as a rebounder, finisher, all that type of stuff, just because he's 7'4". 79 speed, which is what he's got. Certainly doesn't feel slow on a 7'4" guy, I'll tell you that. Yes, he's got low strength. Generally, it doesn't really matter. He is the best card in my team, in my opinion, and still, in my opinion, 100% the best center in the game. It probably will be for quite a while. If you look at the hidden gems, I'm not sure there's a single hidden gem that's going to be coming out in the next couple months that's better than this Victor Wembanyama card. That is going to do it for today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.